There we go. Let's make sure. Excellent connection. Still gotta make sure it's connected. There we go. Welcome to Out of the Draft podcast. We got a full panel today. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. This is Dylan, and of course you have
Mitchell. What's up, guys?
Got Damon.
Dylan.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Still alive.
Good. Yeah.
That's good.
Good.
Life, anything's changing in life, or we kind of just chilling?
Just chilling.
Chilling. Yeah. How about you?
Well, if you look at my room, it's very dull. There's nothing on the walls. I'm moving because we settled on an apartment because we're getting married in a month. Less than actually, 26 days to be exact. So I'm excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is fun. I'm excited. But let's stop talking about life. Let's get into the real stuff.
Yeah.
Racing. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But how was the weekend for everyone? Like, how did it go?
Good. How much of the truck race did you guys catch? Start off.
None of it.
Valid.
Me
either. So.
I don't remember. I know who won, but
Yeah.
I don't. I forget.
Zane.
yeah, Zane Smith.
Oh shit! I got all the picks that past week. Yeah, I know who won. Never mind.
You
Yeah.
swept the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to start doing points because I would love to do
I agree.
But I guess I would like to wait until we get more, fans in that watch live just to get them involved too. But yeah, congratulations on that. That's pretty. I don't think that's ever happened with any of us. So
Hey, I'm him.
yeah, I went to PetSmart today. This is random, but when you said that,
I was
I
alright.
said I'm him, and he went to PetSmart.
no,
Okay.
there's a reason. Okay, so our total was like 1901. Okay, and we gave him a 20, and we're looking for a penny. We're like, dang it, sorry. That dude, his name tag said whatever his name was, and it says he, him, his, and I was like, oh god, I already knew. Like from that moment forward, I was like, this kid's gonna give me $1. I hope, because it's just a penny. Like, who cares? No, this guy counts out 99 cents, gives it to me, and I was like, yep, that's him. That's definitely him. And I said that. I made that joke. That didn't. I didn't get looked. People looked at me like I was stupid because I said that. But that's beside the point. Just when you said that just when you're like, I'm him, I was like, okay, that just made me think of our PetSmart.
Right, makes sense.
Today. By the way, that pisses me off when someone gives you 99 cents. No, dude. Okay, your drawer's not going to affect a penny. I promise you that.
That's horrible. Back to racing. I did lie. I did watch the. I think the first two stages. So I forgot. I have memory loss.
Yeah. Well, I knew Kyle Busch was like catching. Well, he wasn't actually catching, but he was on fresh tires behind Zane, trying to get to him at the closing laps because they were on different strategies. But Zane he was so good on the long run. His speed, he actually got faster and faster throughout the race. Or like throughout the run, he was faster.
Yeah.
Which is good to see. But other than that, that's all I saw. I only saw stage 3 just because I was at work when they first started. So that's why I didn't see the first two. But
Yeah, same. I completely missed all of the truck series.
So, congrats to Zane. I don't know if there's anything more you want to talk about that, but oh my god,
Mud flaps on a
flyer. He said him. Do y'all see his name on the?
Yeah.
God.
But yeah. Oh yeah, his mud flaps caught on fire. You're right.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I saw a thing.
Evidence.
I was at work for the second part of the race.
Podcast. He said, I think he was just destroying evidence. I was like, that's pretty funny. But
it is interesting though, because you didn't see anyone else catch on fire.
Yeah, that was weird. But so apparently, like, I guess a piece of rubber got caught into the mud flap, and so when he was doing burnouts, it sparked because it rubbed up against it because I guess the material. That's what just caught it on fire. which was that's crazy that I can do that. So they may need to adjust the material just in case for
Right.
safety.
Make him steel.
No, but yeah, that's all I have for the truck race personally. But anything else?
No.
All right, we can move on to Xfinity. I don't remember watching the Xfinity race. I know I watched it, but I do. If someone tells me like throughout it, I can give input. But you can go ahead and start talking.
So I know the Xfinity started off with Allmendinger on pole. Typical turn one. They all went in there crazy and stuff, and I don't remember who came out the leader, honestly. But I remember AJ was back to the lead before the end of the first lap, and then just took off. Honestly, he was the fastest car of the whole race, but he took off for stage one and just drove away.
Yeah, I didn't. I only got like little highlights because of the tweets like Pockers and Jeff Gluck do, and it seemed like a pretty exciting race. I saw some things at the end. I think Allmendinger spun when he was leading at one point, and then he was slightly involved in another wreck. But I was like, I think the first restart when after he wrecked, the car spun in front of him, and I don't think he got any damage from it. He just stopped, but he got back up there, and him and Sheldon Creed are racing hard with like 10 to go, and I think Allmendinger basically just turned him. Turned Creed and
got in there a little hot.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a caution, but I think there was a caution.
It stayed green. Yeah.
Oh well, I think the last 10 laps were Byron versus Allmendinger, which I heard was also very exciting. Kind of sad I missed the race, but Allmendinger ended up getting on top of that one.
Yeah, it was decent the last 14 laps or so. I think it was exactly 14 to go when he dumped Creed. And then from that point on, it was just him and Byron just by themselves, kind of, cat and mouse. Byron would close in here and then lose there and so on. And it came all the way down to the last lap, and Byron was making a really hard charge and he was going to be there. He was going to have a really good shot at it,
especially
if the right time came.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got loose in the S's because I guess obviously he was trying harder than he has been the last 13 laps. They were going at it for a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to Byron for a little bit because I did not expect the weekend that he had. We haven't talked about the Cup race. But that was pretty impressive, especially with, he's already at 2 wins this year in the Cup Series. So, he's really performing, what he should be doing a couple years ago, but now it's in full potential. I think with the help of Rudy Fugel, helps that a lot with the calls and the strategy. But I want to give him some congrats on that.
No, yeah, I agree. He had, like you said, we haven't talked about the Cup yet, but he had an amazing weekend overall. Yeah. Yeah, going back to the Xfinity Series race real quick, though. I remember at the end of stage one, shortly after, I believe they had a caution, and it kind of messed up fuel strategy because AJ had just pitted. So he had restarted stage two, I think, 20th, 30th, or whatever, and that's what ended up causing him to get in that first wreck that that was the one that you had mentioned, Damon, where he just came to a stop, basically. No real damage, but and then from that point on, he had a really rough day, honestly. So for him to even come back and be in position to go for the win, with that very final restart with I think like around 20 to go or so. AJ battled through a lot of adversity to be able to come back and win it, basically.
Yeah, it showed how dominant his car was.
Yeah, second year in a row.
Kind of like Reddick, which we'll talk about in a minute, the Cup race.
I will say, after spinning Sheldon Creed out, he literally came back and finished 9th under green. Like, he did that all under green. Which is insane. It wasn't like he dropped back to just 15th. No, the dude dropped to
29th or something like that.
Yeah, it was right after a restart. So the field was pretty close.
And I believe it was like 29, like 28 seconds back, something like that.
Yeah, which was, I mean, that's cooking.
Impressive. With, like I said earlier, AJ spun him with 14 to go. Which,
He
I mean,
wanted a
14 to
chance.
go is a long ways at that track.
Right,
but still
He
only
wanted a chance
14.
to get to AJ.
Yeah, he was trying, he was. But I think Creed also understands, though, that it was hard racing. And on top of that, we saw Creed as well all day. He had a really good day. He led a lot of laps because he was taking advantage of different pit strategies and stuff like that to keep him up front. And he was very defensive with his driving all day, but he was doing it in a way to where that a lot of guys just couldn't get around him. But he had a really good day up front as well. But I think he knows, AJ didn't really mean to do that. He kind of overcooked it, and I'm sure once he did see video, eventually he probably sees that it was an accident. But it is what it is. Maybe he tags him back later in the year, maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, at first Creed wasn't happy. His radio, he's like, how much space could I give him? I saw the replay, and yeah, Allmendinger definitely cooked it in there a little bit hot.
He cooked it, but
I mean, it happens to the best of us, obviously. It happened to AJ. I do want to give a shout out to the top 4 regular season finishers.
Yes.
I guess Xfinity regulars.
Right.
Finishers, which is Sammy Smith, Justin Allgaier, Daniel Hemrick, and Sam Mayer. That was 4th through 7th. They will this week be racing for Dash for Cash.
Yep.
So this is the first week that they'll be doing the Dash for Cash, which that means no Cup drivers are allowed in the field because of that. So that'll be interesting.
Seen some cool faces for that this week. I did look at the entry list. There's some cool faces. There's Derek Roustig making his first Xfinity race for colleague. I saw Joe Graff gets another opportunity in the 19.
Yeah.
I was thinking truck race, but Chad Chastain's in the 41 for trucks.
Yep.
Couple names this weekend.
Josh Williams back in the 92 from his penalty that he had to get.
Yep.
So
and with a new sponsor as well.
Yeah.
I just said the same thing on mute. Fuck me.
I mean, if you want me to.
Whoa.
Okay.
Live. Imagine.
Caught in 4K right there by somebody.
Yeah. By the one viewer we got watching, maybe.
Cody.
They see you, bro.
Don't put me on the internet. Don't make me famous.
Cancel.
Yeah, don't cancel me.
All right, now we'll definitely get into the Cup Series. Starting off the weekend, William Byron actually won the pole for the race. Where did? Okay.
Reddick qualified second.
Okay, that's where I wanted to know. Couple honorable mentions for qualifying. Jordan Taylor, his first ever Cup race, qualified 4th in the 9 car. That was all that was kind of impressive. I mean, Kimmy qualified 22nd. Jensen Button qualified 24th. And then that was about it when it comes to importance. But so yeah, this had a stacked field when it comes to not just NASCAR drivers, world champions as well. IMSA drivers with Jordan Taylor. It was going to be a great race. This is the first race since 2017 that we have not had a stage caution for the stages. So with that being said, I guess that's the first thing that we can talk about. How was your thoughts on the race without stage cautions? Do you think it actually worked well, or do you think it was kind of...
So regarding Cup, I don't really know. I only was able to catch the last 16 laps of the race.
Okay.
But regarding an Xfinity though, because they did it as well there. I liked what I saw. I liked where the strategy was going before that first caution did fall. I mean, at that point, it kind of set him up for a little bit different strategy. But I liked where it would have gone and where it was going. which we saw AJ running it backwards at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm eager to see it more at more road courses to see what kind of more strategy we're able to see with it. But yeah, regarding the cup, I wasn't able to see it, so I don't really know what happened there.
Yeah,
I like the cup, honestly.
yeah. I was like, cause I personally, I know a lot of people hate it, but I like stage cautions even for road courses. I was like, because you never know if you're gonna get a caution. If mostly with like kind of car that Tyler Reddick had. I mean, if there was no cautions throughout the race, but luckily there was some. I mean, that dude was gonna probably lap the whole damn field. I mean, that dude was on one. But I love the race. I was hoping it was gonna go green to the end before all those cautions started coming out, which really hurt me. So I thought it was going to be entertaining because a lot of people were like they were half a lap short, or a lot of people were like we're 2 laps short and Reddy pitted, like Kyle Busch pitted. I think most of Joe Gibbs' cars I think pitted.
Yeah, I think Bowman said he was like 5 short.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy. I personally I thought it was I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
I could stop having a damn stroke. Sorry.
No, you're talking about. I enjoyed the race without stage cautions. I thought it was good, actually. Holy hell!
What?
Breaking news.
Did y'all see that Carl Edwards will be racing for Project 91?
Breaking news.
You're lying.
No. Okay. This is not an official. The official announcement is set for April 2nd, right before the Cup race at Richmond. Carl Edwards will be racing Project 91 for Trackhouse Racing at Bristol Motor Speedway later this year, September 16th.
I think that's fake, bud.
Who posted it?
It's some guy, I don't know, but he is a NASCAR reporter and insider, so he's followed. He's followed.
It
could be.
I did not see that. If it is real, that's crazy. The last we had heard from Edwards that he kind of didn't really want to do it.
Yeah,
he was on like a race hub thing. Sorry, Dylan, but he was on like a race hub thing like a year ago. I did an interview, and he really wasn't even interested in coming back anymore. He was enjoying his retirement life. So if that's something, that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know how real this is. I doubt it. It may or most likely it's fake. But that was just interesting to see when I was trying to look up something about the race. But I really enjoyed it without stage cautions. I thought it was very natural. It felt like an old, good road race, like back at Watkins Glen, with a 2011, 2012 type of feel. Just we had 2 like dominant cars, maybe 3 at times. Allmendinger was really fast with the 24 and the 45. For most of the race until he had, was it like an engine issue or?
For Dinger?
Yeah.
It wasn't a fuel pump for him, was it? Somebody had a fuel pump issue. I know that. I think it was Bowman that had. Who had the fuel pump issue? Somebody had one of the 3 races. I don't remember. I don't think there was a problem with Allmendinger. I think he just couldn't get up there.
I thought he was out of the race at the official results. So I don't know what happened, but I thought them 3 were going to be dominating the field at the time. But then you had the Trackhouse cars that was really fast in the long run, who was able to stick with them a little bit. But as soon as Reddick got clean air, though, it was full sailing for him, which was interesting because Toyota sucked at road courses last year, and technically Toyota sucked this week too, besides Reddick. So it was definitely mostly driver and setup. I guess he just gave exactly what he needed for them to set up the race car, and plus when hear other Toyota drivers say that he is so unique with his lap time. Like he does things way different than everyone else when it comes to braking and the throttle input. He just does it completely different. That's why he's able to do like 4 tenths faster, that was so interesting to hear, especially coming from Hamlin, one of the people that said that. So, but yeah, I mean that's Tyler Reddick pretty much dominated until we had the green white checkers. The race was great. In my opinion, the race was great up until this point.
Yeah.
It was still exciting, but the laps felt like they were so long under caution. We definitely need to find on road courses. This is what I mean by this. I do not think that we need section yellows or whatever F1 does. I forgot what it's called.
Kind of like where they slow down that specific area if there's an issue there until everybody rolls.
I don't think we need that. I do think we need full course yellows. Local yellows is what it's called. Sorry, I don't know why I said section, but I think that there needs to be a shortcut somewhere where you don't have to run the whole course. When it comes to caution laps, I think that there has to be some type of way where they meet and they don't have to go all the way around the track and they can just kind of shortcut half of the track.
Right.
That would help with the time because, I mean, literally, when I say the last 10 laps took as much as the first 2 stages, that's a problem. Like that's a little ridiculous, but
Yeah, I saw a thing where the race at first, I think Pockers tweeted it. The race at first, up until the rash cautions was 2 hours and 30 minutes,
perfect.
and then the last 10 laps, yeah, it was going by quick because I'll finish this first, but first up until the rash cautions like 2 hours 15, 2 hours 30 minutes. But then once the rash cautions came in, it was like an hour 15, hour 20 minutes just to finish those last 10 laps. And I also saw something from Pockers where the expected race time was supposed to be 3 hours and 15 minutes. And after they got, a whole lot through it, it was like a lot less. It was like an hour. They were at like an hour 45 with some amount of time to go. Not many laps to go, basically. And the approximated race time was like 3 hours, 15 minutes. So that was a quick race up into the rash yellows.
Which is odd because you would think the stage cautions make it longer because you're not stopping. So I've noticed in a race where I feel like stage racing has made the racing shorter to the viewer because sometimes I'm like, hell, we're already in stage 3. Like,
right.
Like, I'd be like, what's happened? Like, I would be confused. But the fact that, which is good, that means that stage cautions aren't necessary, right? Like, with this being said, they're not necessary. It was very cool to see a natural race play out. Not saying that I don't think stage cautions are natural. I just think that there is a manufactured a little bit when it comes to, like what, Carl Edwards said back in 2016, the leader has so much delta. In the middle of the race, you make a halftime, quote unquote, and you erase the delta that he's put up. So it's easier for him to lose the race because of that, even with 100 laps to go, right?
Right.
So like there is a little manipulation, but I don't think it's bad. I mean, trust me, I think from 2019 to 2022, or 2021, I think it was necessary to have stages. But now with this car, I think we have so many natural cautions. I don't know if it's necessary anymore, but that's just my opinion.
Right.
What's your thoughts?
I mean, I agree. I liked the feel and the idea of it going back to, more of a natural kind of state to it, not necessarily manufactured to where they know it's coming.
Yeah.
Is whenever we know a caution's coming, we know we're going to pit, right? So then at that point, you're going to build your strategy around that, which is still strategy racing, because you can choose to pit, choose to not pit. But obviously, if your stages are 112 laps, then you're probably going to pit.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's eliminating strategy, the long run of it all. So I like the idea of it getting back to it, especially road course wise, because strategy can be all over the board.
Yeah.
I wish I did see the race because I would like to see how the strategy played out. How did it seem? Did they seem like it was going to be a 2 tires versus 3 tires type of thing? Were they burning up the rears 2 extra? I mean, what did that look like?
Go ahead.
Tire wear really wasn't a thing, but there was 2 separate strategies. There's like a caution on lap 15, I'd like to say, and a couple guys like Harvick and Harrison Burton and McDowell pitted before the caution, and right after the caution came out, basically only Tyler Reddick pitted.
Yeah.
And so there's boom right there. There's 2 different strategies because I think most guys, the 68 lap race, most people were doing it on 2 stops. Reddick was going to have to do it. Reddick and Harvick and those guys that pitted before, right after the caution, we're going to have to do it on 3 stops. But there really wasn't much tire wear except Tyler Reddick was. He could have pitted an extra time, like 2 extra times, and still beat them. It didn't matter. But it was 2 separate strategies, and
Tyler Reddick was the only one who had a 3-stop race to finish. Like without the spring of cautions at the end.
Right.
Tyler Reddick was the only one to be up front, like in the top 10 with a 3-stop race. The rest of them were 2.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different strategies throughout the field about that. I will say stage 1, when they're coming to take the green from that restart that you're talking about, that caution, that was the end of the stage.
I was about to talk about that. Yep.
Like so, when the restart zone and they hit the green, whoever crossed the line of that lap, that was the stage winner.
While they were coming to the green?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the final lap.
Yeah.
Like that final pace lap coming to the green.
Yeah.
Like when they come into the green, that was the green. What would be like the green and white checkered.
Yeah. So that's how. So if you don't have stage cautions, it can be just like that, right?
Wow.
Because even the announcers.
So then at that point, if you come and pit before, like on that caution, that is, you could be winning the stage, or you know what I mean. That's the battle right there.
Yeah.
Or if you don't pit at all, yeah. But if everyone does come down for whatever strategy, because assuming that happened, we could see that later, or at certain other tracks where then you wouldn't pit anymore. But
that's why they were so confused that Reddick pit, because they knew that they were going to cross the line at some point throughout the caution.
Right.
Under the stage. But it worked out for him.
The cautions were obnoxiously long, but even for that final, that shit we're just talking about, even if you were the leader, you had a chance of not winning the stages based off who got the better start. So like the top 10 on that restart coming to the line, that top 10 could have been, if you were 10th and somehow like 11th gets a better start than you, then that 11th place guy, if he crossed the line before you, he's 10th. So it's not like if it happens again at like Sonoma or whatever, it's basically because second still could have won the stage if they would have got a better legal restart than first. Like it was confusing as shit. But yeah, that's how it went.
At that point, I think what they should have done is just called the stage. Whatever that running order at that time is, that's the running order for the stage for the point wise. You know what I mean?
Hey, if NASCAR wants to make it harder on themselves, they could do that.
I mean, that's typically what they would have done if you were like an oval, and we had a caution coming to like 2 to go or whatever.
Yeah, the thing is that road courses are so big. don't think they want another another fucking 5 minutes for them to run the lap.
Yeah.
If they were just going to keep it under yellow and call the stage there, is that what you're saying? Or are you saying like call the
Right,
stage like a lap early?
Pretty much, yeah. Call the stage like a lap early. Points wise.
If you know you're not gonna, like if you know you're not gonna restart it in time, then I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, that's like
it's like 7:04.
There's
Exactly.
one time, you know how the ARCA series like they do 1-lap shootouts. Like,
see, and I'm not opposed to that either, but I think taking a restart and coming to the
Only
the
on road
point,
courses.
I don't understand that part. I think you should just call it points wise anyway.
Speaking of ARCA, how about them ARCA breaks by Bubba Wallace? That was impressive.
He needs to be replaced.
Yeah, he was even saying it. I mean, at this point, put in Kimmy full time. I think he could do better on ovals than him.
Give that car to LaJoy.
Yeah, right. Swap rides.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bubba will probably do better in it, and the other ride. LaJoy will probably do shittier. All right. Anyway, what? Still on the race here.
No, I was good. After we got discussing that, I was okay to finish off with the Cup.
I do want to give some. I like doing it. I like giving some attaboys, some drivers. Stenhouse got 7th. Todd Gilliland got 10th.
By the way, he also he spun out. Stenhouse spun out in one of those green-white checkers. By the way.
So did Chastain.
1900 for a top 10.
Chastain wrecked with like 7 to go and finished like.
It just absolutely rammed his way through everybody.
Yeah.
Suarez.
I think with like 9 to go, he was like 28.
No, Chastain actually, it wasn't Chastain.
It was Chase Briscoe.
Which one?
Yeah.
On which one?
So,
the last one.
The Suarez one and Suarez.
Yeah, the Suarez incident. Briscoe. I mean, Chastain was going in there, but like he wasn't on the 48th bumper, right?
Yeah, no.
Until Briscoe got into Chastain got into the 48, which made the 48 not make the corner into Suarez. But we'll talk about Suarez after we talk about these honorable mentions and if you have the viewership stuff.
Oh yeah, I got that. Okay. Some data boys for People Cup. I said Stenhouse 7th. One guy I do want to point on that had a pretty rough day was Brad Keselowski. Holy shit, did he have a rough day? He wrecked about 3 times and kept going and then wrecked the final time. Said I'm going to call it quits. Anyway, Todd Gilliland finished 10th. Corey LaJoy continues his hot streak. I think he's had like a top 20 like every race this year. Something like that. He got 11th. Michael McDowell 12th. Jensen Button got 18th. Justin Haley 19th. I think Jordan Taylor finished 23rd or 24th, and Kimi Räikkönen finished 28th, second final lead lap. But he did restart in the top 5, but it's difficult because he's like a Formula 1 driver, and he's not used to being able to make contact with cars, because you got to watch your cars a lot for F1, like F1 and all that. Some data boys for Xfinity. Give me 1 second.
Forgot one. Somebody had a really bad day.
Allmendinger?
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, oh yeah, lap 1. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was tough. Half a lap.
I heard about that.
It was Ty Dillon, dude. Of course.
Ty Dillon has finished. I think I saw he's done like 4 races or something. He hasn't finished better than 33rd.
That's pretty damn good.
He deserves a cut. He deserves Bubba's ride. I'm just saying. Pause. Miguel Paludo 13th, Clements 14th, Alex Labay 15th. There's really not that many data boys for Xfinity.
Yeah, honestly, regarding Alex Labay, I thought he was going to run a little better. Typically, we see him run better at the road courses, so I was a little surprised to see him more toward like 15th, 20th.
Some truck data boys.
Maybe they didn't put as much money into this because Josh wasn't in the car.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, well, new sponsor, more money.
Hey, and the sponsor comes from both of them too. I thought that part was interesting.
Yeah, there's no that boys for trucks, but viewership. Let's move on to viewership for the Cup
I
race.
mean, Kyle Busch has baby hands. We learned that.
He's got soft as baby cheeks, bro. Kind of like his attitude too. All right. Fox earned a 1.81 rating and a 3.129 million viewers for Sunday's Cup race at Coda, down from a 2.18 rating and 3.7 million viewers last year. NASCAR was the second most watched sport of the weekend, behind the 12 NCAA tournament games. And HUT levels were down 12% for 22. I don't know what that is. You guys know what that is?
No.
What you saying?
You look like those numbers stress you out, Dylan.
Why are we falling so bad? Like, I really just don't get it.
March Madness.
I mean,
yeah, March Madness has.
Yeah, but like that happens every year too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's been even before March Madness.
Yeah, but March Madness has been pretty crazy this year.
That is okay. That is true. I mean, look who's in it right now. Like that's
FAU. FAU.
Not gonna lie, Caitlin Clark, bro.
Oh my god.
Caitlin Clark makes me want to watch women's basketball, but yeah, no, I'm not watching that
Cavender twins.
I'm sorry.
Oh my damn, bad as shit. Fuck, I was just talking about them last night, bro.
Who are you talking about?
Cavender twins.
I'll send them to you.
Miami. Bad as shit, bro. But anyway, Dylan, I know it sounds like you got some thoughts for the Cup ratings. You seem pretty stressed out with that.
I'm not.
He's just more confused on why.
I'm more confused because I really thought we were going to be at least even with last year, leading up to the event, just for a couple reasons. For one, Chase Elliott was going to be in the booth, or not the booth, but in the car. Kurt Busch was going to be there as well, and I thought with all the
And
what's his name? The Gutsenberg.
Gunther Steiner.
I couldn't understand
Close enough.
what word he said.
Yeah, no.
My mom was like, "Who is that goofball in there?" I was like, "That's slightly racist," but
Yeah. I mean,
a quick question. I thought Chase was only supposed to be there for stage 2.
no, he was there for he was there throughout the.
He was there for the whole race.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, I saw him, toward the end, but yeah, I could have swore like when I heard the advertisement for the race. Probably
I think that's what even.
I thought they said he would be there for stage 2.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's a. Sorry, yeah.
Well, I think because the broadcast was so bad. I'm not even gonna give it, but they were like, we gotta pull someone else in, you know what I'm saying? Like this was. You can tell there was more reaction over Chase being on there, online when it comes to Twitter, live during the race, than anything else, right? So I guess Fox was like, okay, well we need to keep doing this. This is not just a stage 2 type of idea. This is let's finish the race. Let's get a driver's perspective throughout the whole race. Even though they had 2 drivers in the booth, but I just think, okay, they would have 1.5 driver in the booth. Let's
Poor Kurt, man.
Why is Kurt like half a person right now?
No, I'm talking about Boyer. But
That's messed up.
Word over my head, sorry.
No, I just. Besides the point, but I do think Kurt did a good job. I know a lot of people were mad because of how biased he was at the end of the race with saying the 45, but his heart's in that team. I mean that's just, you got to know what he's been through for a freaking year. Come on now, the dude was honestly on the up of his career. He was going upwards, and all of a sudden, boom, a qualifying lap just hits and you're done, right? I just.
He wants to be back so bad.
Yeah,
he wants to be back in that car so bad.
He wants to be racing. The dude literally, he doesn't deserve to end.
He wasn't done.
Yeah, no. No one deserves that. Don't get me wrong, but
we should see him go to SRX where they don't care.
That's
They're
true.
like, yeah, bud, come on in.
Come on in. You're 90.
We
Let's
got
get
Kenny
it.
Wallace out here this year, so
You want brain damage? You're slightly racist.
hey, I'm actually
Come on.
excited for that. I saw the other day that Kenny Wallace is going to be running. I mean, at least one race. I don't know where, but I
Yeah,
assume dirt.
the dirt races.
Yeah,
He's a good dirt
so
driver. So
that's what I'm saying. He's damn good dirt. So he could sneak one away in the SRX. I could see that.
but yeah, I do want to give okay, this is not being unbiased. I do want to give Chase Elliott props. Before the race, he tweeted out, he said, what is okay, everyone who watches every week, I want you to give me give me reasons that you don't like the broadcast, or give me something that you want me to say throughout the broadcast so that I can help, or that I can be informative, stuff like that. Which
Right.
Mark Martin, older drivers, quoted the tweet and was like, "This is exactly what we need from the booth to ask on Twitter. Like, this is something that they should be doing on a week-to-week basis, not a driver who the only reason why they're there is because they have a broken leg. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this should be the norm, not just a one-off. And so there was a lot of feedback. Obviously, I mean, most popular driver, everyone's not asking the dumbest, stupid questions. But there's a lot of good feedback in the sense of we do not have to talk about just the leader or just the top five. Please go through the field like we used to.
Right. I have not. So sorry to interrupt you.
You talked about this a lot.
Yeah. I missed that, and we kind of started to see that. I'd probably say around 17, 18, we saw it more and more and more, especially whenever it came playoff time, which I understand. In the playoffs, you want to talk about your playoff people. I get it. But, normal race situation and times like this, we used to always go through the field, at least up until the, the first lap down car. And then, if we had a lot of people lap down, then they'd still be going deep 20, 25, talk about these people days, even if it's just 30 seconds, See, let us know what's going on. Oh, LaJoy's back here in 32nd, battling a loose car. Like,
yeah, or he got caught up in an accident in lap 14. Show the replay in the top of the corner. Like,
right.
Give perspective to the viewer. Okay, load them with information about the race, not load them with information that doesn't that for one that doesn't pertain to the actual thing that you're watching on the product at the very second.
Right.
That's just stupid. Why would you? My biggest pet peeve is like when they talk about, oh, I can't wait for next week, like blah blah blah, and it's like halfway through the race that we're watching. Like, why are we jumping into next week? There's still half a race to be excited for in the booth, right? And a lot of people are like, we want excitement, we want a good driver feedback. Under his comments, we're like, we want to know what a driver's dealing with each, like, throughout the lap, right? We don't want to just ride along. We want you to say, like, oh, this is where his arm starts to get tired throughout the race, or so on and so forth. Stuff, in my opinion, that DW did very well. Even though he was, I mean, I like DW a lot, but I know
I agree.
He was very, obnoxious sometimes, which that was just nature of it. But at least he gave information that made you, as a fan, understood
what the driver is dealing with.
Exactly.
And going back to a quick example of that, the famous Darlington race with Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
DW specifically states that these cars are driving terrible right now. Or actually, I got it backwards.
That was like
he actually said they're driving great, but it was sarcastic.
Like, nah, dude, they're driving great.
Right,
they're driving
right.
Great. But he was coaching, even though Ricky didn't hear this, but he was like, hey, don't do that. Like, that's not the right move. Like, wait till turn 3. Wait till this. Wait till this. Like, he knew. If you're a fan, you're anticipating the next move.
Right.
And I think that was just, I mean, obviously that was peak DW, right? Like 2003, all the way to, 2012, I think.
12.
I have a freaking
stroke,
right there. But yeah, that period of time was like great, um, like a great booth as well. I mean, Larry Mack's going to be back in the booth for this weekend at Richmond, which is going to be great. I think that's a win in my book. I don't know why he's not in the booth to begin with, but it's becoming a natural thing. I mean, if you listen to an F1 broadcast, they load you with information over every driver throughout the whole race. Like, I mean, even drivers, they know that's not even going to get points this race. They're literally loading you with information. Oh, the Haas drivers are running 14th and 15th. The last two cars in the lead lap, or the Delta is 1 minute behind the leader, right? And they explain why they're going back there. Well, they got an accident on lap 1, or whatever that is.
Right.
For one, because they don't have commercials, so they continuously have to talk to keep you informed. Well, for America, our brain is so social media driven, so like fast paced driven. If you stop talking for a second, they're gonna turn the channel, right? Like if you lose someone's brain for like 30 seconds, it's over. People start changing the channel, right? I mean, that's realistic. Especially when you have a basketball game that's literally 56 to 54, that comes down to if a call like hits out of bounds with 0.2 seconds, right? Like people are gonna focus on that, not focus on the race, because that is super exciting in the moment. Does that make sense?
Right.
If you know the game, then you know what I was talking about. But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, but it's just that's my frustration with the booth, and I think that's why honestly we're losing viewership. And of course, not everyone has cable, so I know we've been saying that all year, and I just think that my frustration more is with we have the ability to be successful. We just choose not to be. That's realistic.
So, fast forward a year. How much do you think Harvick makes an impact on that?
I think okay, as long as Boyer, okay, is the color the color commentator, okay, in a sense of giving funny information and very like, ooh, we gotta spin, ooh, we gotta wreck, okay, and being loud in the booth, I think it'd be phenomenal, because Harvick's gonna give you the detail that you want to hear as a fan when it comes to the vehicle and the driver.
I agree.
I think Boyer needs to step out of that, and I think that's what he's trying to do at this very second. And I just don't think, and I'm sorry, I know Boyer. You're obviously good. You had 10 wins in your career. You're decent enough to be, higher than most people on the Cup Series wins list, and racing, but you don't know these vehicles. Like I'm sorry, you don't. Like you don't know what the driver's dealing with at that very second.
Right.
So don't talk about that. Talk about, the last call, the last lap of last Coda, last year's Coda, they were so bad. Like, if it was NBC, Dale Jr. would have been freaking jumping up and down in the booth. You would have heard his footsteps. And that's how loud he would have been, right?
Oh, yeah. Dale Jr. would have been flipping out watching the Coda.
Slide jump.
Chastain got the bumper from AJ. AJ back. AJ spins in the moment. Like, he would literally be saying that. Oh, but this is literally the booth of last year. Oh, they're going to get into him. He got into him. Oh, my God.
Fun.
He won. The watermelon man wins. That's all it was said. I was like, this is so bad. Like I didn't notice it live because I was watching what.
Yeah, you're focusing. You're not even listening really.
But when I heard it back, I was like, wow, this is really bad.
I agree with that. It was bad. And I did notice as well, even with this Coda race, Clint, he likes to get the names wrong. He does, man, and I think it's just because he's so excited, and it's not like ever random things. It's only when, as specifically whatever he's talking about in that moment with two people beating and banging or battling or whatever, he just swaps them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like he consistently calls, Justin Allgaier, Justin Allmendinger or something. It's not like something like that. It's just in the moment, just those two drivers, he just swaps it because he's just so excited. And so I have noticed that, but I think it's just the excitement. He's just got to kind of just think about what he needs to say,
I will admit, there's one time I was like, oh my gosh, it was Justin Allgaier and AJ. Because Allmendinger and Allgaier, that intertwines with me so bad. Especially when they're battling. I'll be like, oh my gosh, Allmendinger got into him. And I'm like, the 7th lady just drove him up the racetrack. I'm like, oh wait, I mean Allgaier. And it's just, I mean, I get it too. But like, he's supposed to be doing it professionally, right? Like, so
right.
You got to practice that stuff. So
yeah, and I mean, obviously, I understand the random occasional one or something, but
for sure. I mean,
I don't know. I do notice that Boyer kind of falls into that a little more than not.
When Dale Jr. started the Christopher Busher,
Lord, yeah,
that was, which is his real name. It's just. It's just funny that he started that, and like now he goes by it. Like it's not Chris Busher anymore. But that's enough for that. I want to get into something that Denny Hamlin said about the last few restarts. He blamed drivers. He went back and watched the race, and he gave each person that was in fault of the wreck, in his opinion, he called them out on his podcast.
Damn it. I need to go listen now. I didn't finish.
Oh, it is
I
funny.
didn't finish.
It is hilarious. He said...
No, when I'm listening to it to work.
He said, all right, the one with 9 laps to go. It was all because of Austin Cindric, Kevin Harvick. That's what he said. He said... and then he called out Joey Logano. He called out Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, and Alex Bowman for the whole
bullshit.
But he said at the end of it, he said, "I'm going to give this fault to Chase Briscoe because he was the one bumping the one." That's what he said.
Don't talk about the points leader like that.
Yeah, we'll get into that for a second. And then so they were going back and forth. So Hamlin was like, "Trust me, I'm not saying that I don't do anything wrong. That's not what I'm saying." He said, "But what I will say is, if I see you deliberately forget to brake into the braking zone, I'm going to call you out for that." And that's just what it is. He said, "Now, later on in the year, I may do the same thing. Well, guess what? I want you to call me out for it." That's what he said. And it was just a really good... it was really funny. Just the fact that he, over there, calling out drivers. Like, to me, that's some BDE right there. Like, that's
Denny's
like...
starting to grow on me, honestly.
Yeah, he's really grown on me personally. But I at least said that in my NASCAR group chat, like with my family and friends around here. I was like, I hate to say it, y'all, but I think Denny Hamlin's growing on me. And everybody was like, no. And like, they're like, not cheater, because remember that Talladega race where he went under the WL line and still ended up winning because of whatever? They've called him cheater ever since. That's just been his name. But either way, but yeah, I just thought it was hilarious. Something to talk about. And of course, at the end of the race, Daniel Suarez decided to go find the 1 in the 48 from spinning out under one of the green-white checkers. He literally drove through the field under the what's that called? Brief lap? What is it called?
Cool down lap.
Cool down. Good job. Thank you.
Brief lap.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. And iRacing, my spotter always says, take a brief. And so I was just thinking of, like, anyways. But, so, like, he's going through the field. He finds the one right as they enter pit road, pushes the one out of the way.
He almost sent him head on into the wall.
Yeah, he almost put him into the wall.
Bro, I thought he was going to hit it.
Yeah. drives past him and then starts hitting the 48 down pit road, as well as officials standing right next to them doing that. So, of course, NASCAR has to step in that situation to protect their officials. And let me see, I forgot the fine. I know it's 50,000, but I don't
50.
know. Is that all the fine was?
Yeah.
No, I think it was something else too.
Oh,
It was definitely something else. Hang on.
Oh, that was it. That's literally all it was.
I thought there was something else.
mm-mm.
Uh,
Well, you don't have any points, so I really can't take any away.
I will say I do have a problem with. Okay, I don't have a problem with showing your displeasure with your vehicle, as long as it doesn't hinder anyone's safety. Okay.
Yeah.
So in a sense of, I do not have a problem with him bumping Alex Bowman on pit road, but because there was official there, I'm sure he's not thinking of that because he's angry, right? I do think that there should be a penalty. I'm glad there was no points penalty. I don't think there should have been. I think there just should have been a fine.
I agree.
I think that was a fair penalty for the situation, personally. Oh my, that's hilarious. That's pretty funny, dude. Holy cow. But yeah, and then of course we had a penalty that was huge at the beginning of the Phoenix weekend. Hendrick Motorsports and one Collie car got docked with $100,000, 100 points, and 10 playoff points because they were misusing the levers or the louvers. What are they called?
Mm-hmm.
Overs.
Louvers.
That's how you say it.
That which is the vents on top of the hood that gets air from the engine up over the hood of the car, and of course it over the top of the cockpit, and that gives air to the spoiler. If you want to know specifics of what that is, but so they had their appeal this week. Colleague has not had their appeal yet. That is scheduled for next week. And same with Denny Hamlin's penalty, but with him hitting Chastain and whatnot. But so Hendrick Motorsports got the appeal that they were looking for. They got all their points back, but they still had to pay the $100,000 for each vehicle. And there's still 4 race suspension for all the crew chiefs. But all their points was repaid back to them after the appeal process. NASCAR was not happy about that, actually. They said in their rule book that it still should have been a 100-point penalty because they brought the wrong equipment to the racetrack. Even though they didn't race with it, they still brought it to the wrong racetrack, or brought the wrong equipment to the racetrack. Do you think the appeal process was fair, or do you think it was? Like?
I with that being said, just now, I think that they might have kind of cut them a little bit of a break, because once you said that, it kind of did hit me. Why'd you bring it? You know, if you knew it was the wrong thing, you know, why'd you even bother bringing it down?
Well, so
gentlemen,
what's up? What's up, Thomas?
What's up?
Just finished.
Oh my gosh, he's here! I'm so happy.
Just finished working a bunch, so I
That's
called
good.
Mitch, and he
That's
Oh,
good.
you're so happy you missed me that much, huh?
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. Oh my gosh, we're talking about
totally bad.
we're talking about the appeal process from Hendrick Motorsports right now, of what was stated this week. Do you have any thoughts yourself?
I mean, it's Hendricks. I mean, it's Hendrick Motorsports. They were going to get it no matter what. I feel like they were going to get some version of the appeal like they did.
Okay.
It doesn't help with the Hendrick Motorsports favoritism, though, that we see inside NASCAR.
I agree.
But at the same time, I see them blaming Hendricks for something they didn't, and they got caught. But at the same time, they shouldn't have had to do it.
Yes.
But we also know that's what these guys are. We also know what these guys are going to push limits until the limit gets with a line in the sand. Don't cross this line.
All right.
So the reason why
we saw last year with our. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure. The reason why I think they got their points back though is because they did communicate to NASCAR that they are receiving the wrong parts, and they have no other parts that they can put on the vehicles, and NASCAR did not respond to them, and so that's where I think that's why they got their points back.
Okay, which makes sense.
Which I think that's fair, personally, because I mean if there's no communication,
give them the points back, and I knew they're not going to stay with. Yeah, the communication needs to come from NASCAR. The only time communication comes from NASCAR is when you
do something wrong.
You do something wrong.
Yeah.
Called it.
Sorry,
I mean, we've seen this before where drivers. I'm sorry.
No, you're cutting in and out, so I just make it. I don't want to interrupt you. That's all I'm saying. That's literally all I'm saying.
Unfortunately, this is what happens when you live in the middle of nowhere, and I got to take all the back roads home.
Right.
That's fair.
Hey, which makes sense. Yeah. What other news do we got? Anything?
Damon, do you have anything to say before we move on about the?
I got a little bit. Not really much more on the Hendrick, because since you said that they were communicating with NASCAR and all that they're getting the wrong parts, that makes more sense than what I was going to say. I was going to say I didn't really think it was fair, because I feel like the whole team should be punished, not just the crew chiefs, because the crew chiefs aren't the ones saying, hey, let's make it illegal. I get the crew members aren't saying that either, but they're still like they're ones working on it and all that. But now that you said that they were communicating with NASCAR, they're getting the wrong parts and all that, that makes more sense. I get why they got their points back.
Yeah.
I want to touch again on the Suarez thing. I think that fine was perfect. Like I agree with no other fines to anybody else, and no, at least in that situation. I don't know about the race and all that, but I don't think the crew chief should have got a penalty, or the team should have got docked points, because, frankly, I mean I just said it before, but the crew chief and the team members weren't like, hey, let's punt the 48 while he's on pit road and let's endanger a whole bunch of people that's on pit road. Suarez decided to do that himself, unless the crew chief said, hey, fuck all those people on pit road, punt that.
Right.
But
Travis Travis Mack came on the radio and was like, don't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Even more so for the crew point, though. You know.
But that was strictly Suarez. Oh, sorry, Thomas. You can go.
I feel like the Trackhouse they got one penalty this weekend with that one fine. They avoided a second fine, luckily, because Ross Chastain kept his mouth shut.
About what?
Not to his teammate.
So when Ross, I think it was one of the next to last, it extended the race an hour.
Yeah.
Basically, from when Ross Chastain got punted down in turn one, and I think it was him and Martin Truex Jr., he just sat there.
Ooh,
he didn't try to.
I caught that.
He didn't try to start the car. He didn't nothing. He just sat there, and then, miraculously, the caution comes out. The safety truck rolls up to him. Car starts and he drives away. And now he went from a 35th place finish to a 4th.
I will say that on the radio, I don't know who tweeted.
Yeah, they said they had to shut it off and turn it back on.
Yeah,
right?
the
Something
CPU
like
of the engine was not turning back on, because the way the car was sitting, it was sitting like this, and so they said that the CPU of like the gas was not getting to the engine.
So that makes to me that makes no sense, because these are fuel injected with the foam in the gas tank, so the fuel is always readily available until it's out.
They probably had to reset it.
Yeah, there's so when you go from 5th to 1st, or well, I guess you're not at 5th at that point, but when you come from a high gear, and then you stop immediately because of your spinning out or whatever, there has to be like a reset for it to fire itself back up. But I do think it was weird that he did get a push to get him to move. But that he did cover his base when he was talking about like, hey, it's not refiring because of this. He said because of, and so that cleared it. And I'm sure they looked at the data of like his throttle and his brake and his clutch input after the race, just to make sure there was no fire. And I'm sure whatever he was doing was right.
I feel like I feel like the car stalled out. I just think he never attempted to restart it until the caution came out because he knew he was going to have a last place finish almost that way.
Yeah, I mean it's fair game.
And I don't blame him. You see it at local short. Yeah, you see it at local short tracks all over the country. Everybody does it. It's nothing new. But at this level, it's supposed to be a higher standard.
Right.
But at the same time, we even see, honestly, more and more. I'm not saying Chastain did or didn't because we don't really know. But
yeah,
we have seen more and more, I'd say the past 3, 4, 5 years, that drivers are intentionally spinning out and such like that to get that caution to save their race, you know?
Bubble walls!
I hate 5 lobby.
Right. I mean, we've seen Bubba do it. We saw Kyle Busch do it recently. A few others. But Carson Hocevar, I think, had a really obvious one.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, so I mean, we've seen a lot of it, you know. I
he
think
doesn't wear white gloves anymore.
Yeah, you learn quick. We see a lot of drivers kind of attempt that, and I think, you know, in some cases, them guys are thinking, you know, if I don't do this, if I don't get a caution right now, my race is done, you know. I mean, you know the temptation is there.
Yeah, one thing with NASCAR is they don't make enough judgment calls. They just unless you say something, you're fine. You're not gonna get a penalty unless it's like super obvious, like you're hooking somebody on the backstretch just for shits and giggles and all that. But yeah, they don't make enough judgment calls, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's so hard to, I mean, because if like I said, when they go back to the SMT data, they can see exactly what happened when it comes to their steering input, their brake, their throttle, clutch input as well. But it's so, if you say this person genuinely caused a caution and they didn't, I mean, of course they can appeal it, right? Like any other penalty, but you're putting them in a box into a sense where they can't go on their word. It's just a he said, she said type of thing. So,
right, which makes sense.
Well, the problem with appeals is, no matter what the appeal, if you are docked, your finishing position doesn't change. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Unless it's a disqualification of the race through like equipment or whatever that looks like.
Right.
Yes, that is true. But nine times out of 10,
you're right. Yeah, for sure. There's one other news I wanted to get involved with this. I do not want to. I think the only reason why this was tweeted because of what happened here recently in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a terrible thing. But Texas Motor Speedway decided a couple months ago that they will retire a well-known part of its victory celebration. It will not use its shooters anymore, but it will still continue with the hat, the cowboy hat, the flames, and the confetti. Of course, a trophy. But when it comes to the 6 shooters shooting up in the air, that is retired.
Yep.
If they really want to help out, they should probably just retire the track.
Yeah.
If they really want to help out.
Lord.
That'll help.
God
NASCAR
bless, that
only
was
not
good.
the country.
I don't know if that hit the feelings for anybody, but fuck that track. Fuck whoever owns it.
No,
I'm sorry. That track's an absolute joke.
Nah, he was talking about the track, not America. Yeah, he definitely joking about the track. But
Get rid of America.
The last time the track Texas
Good to
was
see
relevant was back when we had the car tomorrow with the big spoiler.
yeah,
2011, 2012, I feel like.
no, that's what are you talking about? Car tomorrow.
I don't really remember that. I thought it was like those little. I thought it was like those little fucking box cars that they had in like 2008 or something.
The car tomorrow.
But, yeah.
No. Like the long one that was really small. That was what the car tomorrow.
Well,
At what? 08?
so from
I don't know what fucking year it was, but like the
from
long.
half of 07 to 2012 was Car Tomorrow.
Car tomorrow.
Alright, then
Yeah.
before that, I guess.
Yeah,
And then we got the Gen 6 and 13.
yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite vehicle of all time.
So we ready to move into picks?
I think so. There's no other news that I can think of.
All right. Yeah, I can start us off with the trucks.
Did you guys talk
Anything else?
before we go for it? Because I don't know what you guys have discussed because I joined late.
Right.
Did you discuss Harvick's comments on today's racing styles?
No.
No,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it really quick. He was basically discussing how there's no respect anymore in the garage and on the
Right.
racetrack, and because that's how these guys are brought up to race.
Right.
It's no longer the respect amongst the drivers is no longer there.
And I didn't see that specific comment that Harvick said, but we have been hearing that, more and more and more throughout the last couple months, and the drivers just show it, We see them take every inch. That's all take at all times. There's not
Take
much
the
give
key man
anymore.
Like
Exactly. There's not much give anymore, And I think a lot of that has to do with the stage points, because points are important. It goes back, we started doing the whole playoff system and all this and that and the stage points and stuff. And, for a while, we knew the points weren't important, of course, but for a long time it became, such a, your win, you're in, the more wins, the better. And with that being said, it is true. But with this car that we have now, it's making points more and more important to have because they're harder to get. So I feel like you're seeing these guys, they're not going to give up anything.
It's also more durable, so they can ram each other even more.
That too.
Nice. I mean, what?
The front end's more durable. The back end's still shitty.
Nah, I get that a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, this
Lord.
just took a turn.
Welcome to the show.
Underage.
I will say there's been a big thing on Twitter this whole week talking about respect, and it kind of started with Joey Logano Pocono 2012, with him moving Mark Martin out of the way in turn one. That's when they said the race was the deciding factor of people not giving as much respect. And I think that's interesting. Personally, I think it started with Joey, but I don't think he was the real reason. I think, because you got to think Brad Keselowski, right before that was sort of similar to Ross Chastain as he is right now. In the sense, if he doesn't really care, he'll just do whatever it takes.
Yep.
And then, of course, you had, so I just think.
I think.
Go ahead.
Finish.
I think he's trying.
Finish your statement, Dylan. Sorry.
No. What? I just want to make sure you were like. I didn't know where you were at that. Because whenever you talk, it's like 5 seconds behind.
It's gonna be finished up.
Yeah. I think
it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. You can't help it. I'm literally laughing about it. But whatever I was saying, I think it has to do with the trucks in the Busch series. Okay, at the time, I think there was a lot of pushing and shoving because there was a lot of kids that had a lot of money, but didn't have a lot of talent. right? And so you had to do what you had to do to win, just because that's what they were doing. I'm not saying that Joey and Brad are a lot of money without a lot of talent. That's not what I'm saying. But they were
Right.
involved in those series during the time,
Right.
and it's going to be a continuous thing because people watch what they see on the racetrack. It is personally, I think that if NASCAR starts being stricter when it comes to, hey, you spin someone out, you cause a wreck, you go to the back of the field. I mean, that could be a
I don't
thing.
think that will happen.
I think that would be interesting.
Unless it gets out of hand, that's not going to happen. Because there goes your entertainment.
I wouldn't mind a situation like that, but I feel like it goes back to them being a judgment call. You know, it's going to come down to NASCAR deciding, was that too much or was it not too much? You know, when one situation might have just been racing, but since he touched him, you know, they're going to be like, oh, you're going to the back, you know? I don't know. But then we're going to see another situation where they dump him, you know, and they're like, oh, you're good, you know, because we're 7 to go or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's the only issue we would see with a situation, like a type of thing like that, but I wouldn't mind it as well as long as it was called at the right times.
Yeah.
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 I think Denny Hamlin. I'm sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
think like the last few weeks ago, he was talking about what's up. No,
What was he talking
keep
about?
laughing. It's okay. No, the reason there's no respect now is you can't pass guys anymore. Like
Right.
it takes time to get past somebody. You used to be able to save your stuff for somebody blew by you, and you just pass them back 20 laps later. Now you either move them now and pass them, and that's where you run.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. And then at that point, you know, once it comes to the point of passing and trying to not be passed, you know, they're going to just block as hard as they can. And a lot of times they take it over the edge with the blocking and or trying to get around someone.
But yeah, I'm ready to go into picks if y'all are.
Yeah, I'm down.
Let's do it.
I'm good.
We start off trucks. We start off April 1st, 4:30 p.m. We're racing at Texas, presented by SpeedyCash.com 250. It's 167 laps, 250 miles. If you're trying to watch it, you can catch it live on Fox Sports Run 1 or the Motor Racing Network if you listen to the radio or iHeartRadio type of situation. Thomas, since you're here, we're gonna start with you, bud. What's your suck pick for truck?
I'm gonna say. I want to say Haley Deegan is just because she's. Well, there's a reason. I know it's a safe pick, but at the same time, she's in Thor Sport Equipment. Yeah, but she's in Thor Sport Equipment, and we expect a lot from that team, that organization in general. And this is her 3rd year in the series. We haven't seen a lot from her.
Yeah, I agree. I was on the fence with also picking her as a suck pick too, because I wasn't expecting much, but at the same time, this could be a track where, you know, she could come through. Excuse me.
That was hot.
Big come through me.
David?
Jesus Christ.
My suck pick is Ryan Vargas.
He's racing trucks this week?
Yeah, in the 30 truck.
Oh, God.
Stat boy, here's your suck pick.
My suck pick is Stuart Friesen.
Okay.
What about you, Dylan?
I'm gonna go with Corey Heim this week. I think Corey Heim just sucked. Mitch.
I'm gonna go with Matt Crafton. I just think he's kind of on the decline. Typically, the 1.5 miles is where we'd see him shine, but I think we're gonna see him struggle this week.
He's gonna win now. Watch.
I think that's a good pick, actually.
That is a good one.
Thomas, who you got having a good run this week?
I mean, there's really there's one good option no matter what every week in, week out, and that's Zane Smith. But I'm not going with him. I am going to go with, let's see. I think Christian Eckes has another good weekend.
I can see it.
He's been doing really good in that truck, actually. And I think that truck's been outperforming where it has been the last few years.
Yeah, I completely agree there.
My
Jaden.
pick for a good run is guy who I think will have a good run and also needs one's Carson Hocevar. He's no top 10s or anything. So far, he does have a stage run, I'm pretty sure, but needs a good run to get back on track.
Yeah.
It's that
He's
boy.
got 2, doesn't he?
He might have two. He has only one stage win. Oh, he does have a top 10. My bad. But he's 14th in points. He needs to.
He needs to step that up.
Yep.
My good run is going to be Matty D.
Yeah, I could see that.
8th in points. That's not a bad pick.
Doing it so far.
I'm gonna go with Ben Rhodes for a good run. We haven't heard a lot of him this year. I know he's 3rd in points. He's had a couple top 5s, but other than that, he's kind of been just there. So I think he'll have another good run, though. Mitchell?
I'm going to go with another Nice guy, Chad Chastain. He's going to be racing the 41 truck this week. I think he's going to kind of follow suit with Carson, maybe learn a couple things in the 1.5 mile program and hopefully get himself maybe a top 10 out of it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you said Nice Motorsports, I was like, there's no way he picks Lawless Allen, but let's see.
Nah. Thomas, who you got winning?
Like I said, there's 2 guys I think in the field that are winners week in and week out. That's being Zane Smith, Ty Majeski. It's a flip of a coin to me to who's going to win. I think Zane Smith's still going to pull off another win though this weekend.
I can see it. He's got a lot of momentum.
I have Christian Eckes winning this week.
Oh,
that boy.
Ben Rhodes winning.
I can see it. He's good on the 1.5 miles.
For myself, I'm gonna go with Ty Majeski, actually.
Yeah, I got to follow suit as well. Ty Majeski, he's been killer on the 1.5 miles the past 1.5 years, 2 years.
Yep.
I think he's going to be really strong this week.
That's good. Damon, you want to give us our Xfinity?
Yes, sir. All right. Xfinity Toyota Care. Okay. Xfinity Series is headed to Richmond Raceway. With the Toyota Care 250, 250 laps, about 188 miles. April 1st to 1 p.m. on FS1. Who was your stuck pick, Thomas?
Let's see here. I'm actually, as much as I don't, I think it's gonna be Cole Custer. He has not had luck at all this season. I don't think he has a top 10 actually at all this entire season so far.
He has one
top 10 in Stewart-Haas equipment, and this is coming. He was it 3-4 years ago. He had 9 wins in a season.
About 4 years ago, I think, 2019.
Yeah, so we expected a lot from him, and he is just not. He's not performing. I think him getting demoted has messed with him actually a lot, and I think he's got to pick it up. Otherwise, he's not going to be behind the wheel. He's going to be behind the deck at Stewart-Haas Racing.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Herbst has been showing him up this year. 6 straight top 10s.
Hey, y'all call me for that pick.
They're fighting for the 4 car for next year.
Yeah, possibly.
That's a George car.
Sheesh, imagine.
That's all joy. Did you say that? Okay, that's all. Okay.
Custer's gonna have to do a lot if he wants to get back to the Cup Series in that 4 car. But Mitch, who's your stuck pick?
I'm gonna go with Joe Graf Jr. I know he's in the 19 JGR equipment. I know he's got the backing behind him to make something happen, but I don't see it happening this week. I think he's gonna struggle.
Dylan, who you got?
Which one? Me?
Suck pick. Yeah, you.
Okay. I just want
Sorry.
to.
You don't call me Dylan.
Yeah,
I think
call him
Derek
Stat
Krause
Boy.
is actually going to suck this week. I've never seen, other than the ARCA series back in the day, he hasn't really done anything for me. So, Derek Krause is going to suck.
Stat Boy, who you got stuck in?
Brandon Jones.
Ooh. Yeah, it makes sense that April 1st, Brandon Jones is racing. He's the biggest joke in motorsports right now. But I have Joe Graff Jr. who's going to suck. I just don't feel like
It's
I just don't think Joe Graff Jr. is really that good.
I agree with you there.
All right.
Yeah.
Good run. Who you got, Thomas?
I think Ryan Sieg's going to have a good weekend. These smaller tracks tend to play favorites or help out the smaller teams, just because it's more about drivers control and stuff. So I think he's going to have a good weekend.
Mitchell?
I'm gonna go with Derek Krause. Krause. I don't know what's that.
Yeah, Kraft.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said about him, Dylan. I haven't seen him do nothing really, excluding his one win, I think, at Texas in the trucks, something like that.
Did he win?
I think he has, or is it Kentucky?
You're thinking of Tyler Akram.
Oh, I am thinking of Tyler Incan there, but I thought he did have one win. Maybe Daya. I don't know. I'm tripping. Either way, I agree though. He hasn't done much for me, Xfinity or truck wise. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do in this 10 car. I think he might be able to pull a top 10 out of it.
Dylan, who you got?
I think this person actually will have a good run, but he also needs a good run. Josh Williams, short track racer, and I think this will be a really good race for him, to be honest.
Takes that boy's a little upset.
I'm taking Josh Williams too.
I just want to see what his new sponsor does with him.
David, what
Burton
you got?
Park.
Did we actually go over that? His new
Parking
sponsor?
That's awesome.
No,
Josh-
I don't think we actually went over it, but you can tell us right now if you.
Well, as we know, was it last week, 2 weeks ago? Josh Williams was told to park his car, and he took that a little too literally, and parked it on the front stretch on the start finish line, and he was suspended a week. And now what's funny about that is just this week he's got a new sponsor. It is a parking sponsor. I don't remember what it's called, but it is running this week. I'm kind of surprised NASCAR allowed it, just because that's like a fuck yourself sponsor right there. But I think that's funny as shit. I hope they're backing him a lot, because I want to see that car in the top 10. I want to see the announcers talk about it. Mostly with Joey Logano, because Joey Logano's gonna mess
I'm
around
sure.
with it.
He's the instigator for sure.
For me, a good run. I just want to see this guy do good, and that's Derek Krause. I really want to see him do good in that 10 car.
I do want to see him do good, but I was just going off facts, so please don't think I was hurting the guy.
I get it. You're a piece of shit. Anyway, win pick, Thomas. Who you got?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think Sam Merritt gets it done this weekend at Richmond.
I like that pick.
Really? Okay.
That's a good pick.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think he gets his first win here. Junior Motorsports has always been really good there. They got Justin Allgaier to lean on. He was pretty promising at Martinsville last year. He could have easily snuck in that win, as well as he was up running in the top 10, I believe, for a good portion of Phoenix. So I just think I think if he gets a win, it could come this weekend.
Mitch, who you got to win?
So I battled myself on this win. I couldn't decide who I wanted, because the Richmond race, especially the spring, you typically look at JGR, right? They're so fast there. But I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go with a guy that does have a win there, and I think he's gonna come back with a vengeance. Cole Custer, baby, he's gonna win. He's gonna get that win at Richmond. I think he's just gonna wheel it, make it happen.
I like it. Dylan, who you got?
This is such a limb. I know we've all been saying this,
Josh Williams.
but Riley Herbst gets it done in the 98. His Richmond stats are really good.
Sure.
He has 10 starts and he's finished in the top 10 times. And this year he has been outperforming his teammate by far.
He's second in points.
Yeah, second in points, 15 behind the leader. I don't know. I have a weird feeling about Riley this week.
Not a bad pick. Step boy, you got.
I'm gonna follow Thomas up and go JRM. Except it's gonna be all Geyer.
I knew that was coming.
That's who I got. I got just an all guy. It's doing these flat short tracks.
I can see it. He's always fast.
Nobody with Barry. I was really thought it was going to be a big Barry.
I almost contemplated going with John Hunter.
Yeah, that's good.
Like I said, I mean, Gibbs, man. We've seen it time and time again where they're just fast at Richmond in general. But I feel like the spring race, they hit that setup right. I mean, we saw last season, Gibbs bump John Hunter out of the way for the win. So I wouldn't have been surprised with John Hunter being a pick. Maybe it's a mistake.
I just want to make sure before we move on.
No, yeah, we'll wait. Yeah, maybe that's a mistake though. None of us picking JGR.
Yeah. I mean,
are we though?
And
that's who I had. If I didn't pick Custer,
really,
I had Sammy Smith written down. Yeah.
I just thought he was too young for the whole, kind of save your tire type of thing. I know ARCA. I mean, that's kind of ARCA in general and in K&N, but
right.
What with the 13 full-time drivers?
Yeah, you don't really have to really manage your stuff, and I think that's kind of what it comes down to at Richmond. So, and Riley Herbst is really good at. I mean, he's already a second slower than the field, so usually he knows how to manage his stuff. It's kind of. All right, Damon, you here though? I just want to make sure. Okay, you're good. All right, so Sunday, April 2nd, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on FS1. This is the first race. It will be on Fox Sports 1. The Toyota Zone 400 at Richmond, Virginia. 400 laps, 300 miles. Actually, I had no idea it was 300 miles. I thought it was 400 miles. But
it's always 400. What the heck?
It's 400 laps, but I've always thought it was 400 miles too, but I don't know. But yeah, the weather looks a little iffy this weekend over there, so hopefully we can still get it in. But who's gonna suck DCD? I'm gonna start with him.
I'm gonna go with Austin Centric.
Damn it,
Thomas.
Well, I'm gonna change my pick now because somebody picked it for me.
Me.
I think Ty Gibbs is. I know we're talking about Joe Gibbs, this and that at Richmond. Ty Gibbs, all season so far, has been really strong the first stage. They've qualified well, but he's always finishing at the back of the pack.
That's a fair estimate.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I agree.
Mitch?
My start pick, I'm gonna go with Truex. I don't think he's got what it's gonna have, this week. So.
Oh damn. David?
Got suck pick, right?
Yeah.
I got Ryan Blaney sucking ever since 2019, or ever since he started here, and up until I think last year, maybe 2021, he's been really, really bad here. His average finish or average running position was 24th. He's not very good here.
For my suck pick, oh man, can I go with the obvious? No, I won't.
EJ McLeod.
No.
Amarola.
I think Suarez will suck. I don't think I've ever seen him good at Richmond, and so I just think he'll suck. I don't have a really good reason. I just think he will.
Who is racing the 9 car this weekend?
Good set.
Barry.
Oh, okay.
Joshua Berry.
Who needs a good run? DC?
Denny Hamlin.
He's sitting 14th in the points. He does need it.
That's because he penalized himself from his podcast. So
I think he'll get that appeal. But Nick.
I don't think he will.
Thomas. I don't know why I called you Nick. I just did the first name. Thomas.
Sure.
Good run. I'm gonna go with Chris Buescher. We've seen a lot of speed coming out of RFK, and I think that that whole organization in general just needs to put together a good weekend.
I'm dumb. I thought we were still in stuck picks. I was like, why the fuck would you pick Chris Buescher? But it makes more sense now.
I could see that, and Richmond seems like a track where, a lot of drivers can kind of control their own destiny a little bit more. I could see Chris Buescher having a good day.
He almost won there last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mitch, who you got?
I got Josh Berry having a good run. I think he's finally going to come through. I think the short track experience is going to allow him to kind of work his way through the front, and we'll see him maybe be a little bit of a player, maybe for some stage points this week.
David?
A guy that needs a good run is Ryan Preece. I don't think he has a top 10 this year, and short track are his style.
That's a good pick, actually.
That is.
Hey, I went 3 for 3 last week on win picks. What can I say?
I think he's pouring cold custard in that car.
69 points too.
I want to pick 2 drivers, but I can't. So I'm going to just pick one. I'll pick Corey LaJoie, just because he's been running strong all year. This is his style of track when it comes to short track racing. That's what I grew up doing. I think we could see I think we could see a top 10 if it runs well enough.
I agree, especially following his run at Coda.
So, but yeah, that's what I got. Who's gonna win? DSD.
I'm gonna go with Martin Truex Jr.
Son of a...
Taking all his picks.
Thomas.
Just pick it with me.
I wonder who you picked.
Just pick it with me.
No.
I'm not picking the same person.
I'm just saying. Last time I picked Martin Truex. Last time I picked Martin Truex.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Christopher Bell gets it done this weekend.
That's
not a bad pick.
David?
No, it's not.
I mean, Mitch. Sorry, I'm going out of order. Sorry.
Just like Xfinity Series, I'm gonna have to go with a past winner. I think with this style of car and aero package that we have on it currently, obviously we see the car slipping and slide a little bit more. So I think we're gonna have to go a little bit back, go with someone with some experience. Gonna go with Harvick. We see him be able to save the tires, slip and slide a little less, keep the throttle down, wheel straight off the corner. I'm gonna have to go with Kevin.
He was the fastest car at Phoenix, which is about as close as you can get to as far as we ran this year.
I'm saying, and he also ran one at Richmond last year. So
yeah, I'm going with a past winner at Richmond and the guy who's fastest at Phoenix. I'm going with Harvick.
For myself, I debated 2 drivers. They were both battling for the lead last year. In the spring race. Hamlin or Byron.
I called it.
I think Hamlin's gonna win, so that's what I'm gonna pick. I picked Denny Hamlin. I think he goes back to back in the spring race for Richmond. I think all the drivers that we named will be in the top 5. Actually, that's what I envision. Well, you don't envision Truex, but I do.
Yeah, I don't. Truex is going to finish about 29th.
Thomas, who did you pick again?
Christopher Bell, because I took MTJ from him.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I think it's going to be Toyota.
What was that?
I think it's going to be Toyota, Ford of Harvick, and the Chevy of William Byron. I think that's going to be our top 5. Just because...
I could see that. I don't see Truex, though. I see probably the 45, the 11, and maybe probably the 20.
I don't see Reddick like that on a short track.
I agree, but I think momentum is just going to carry, and I think he's going to be a big player.
But yeah,
I
Ryan,
see all the drivers from the last spring race, Byron, Hamlin, Harvick, and the guys from the fall race, Bell, Busher. I'd see them having a real chance to be the top 5.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I cannot wait for this weekend. I like Richmond a lot. I think it's definitely a driver's track. So for me,
It gets too much hate. It gets way too much hate. I mean, I feel like
I'm not gonna lie.
since whatever they've done with it, they've repaved it or reconfigured it a little bit, like in turn 3 and 4 to make it like more racy. I feel like it's been really good since then.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Richmond.
I agree. I like what I see at Richmond. I think it's just. I think we're going to see a better product this year with this car. We're going to see a little bit more slip and slide. I also think that means we're going to see the higher groove start to come in as well because they're going to be working it a little bit, searching for more grip. I could see the race coming down to maybe like what was the year Bush dumped Junior? 08, 9?
2008.
8? I think it could be like the way the track kind of drives like that.
Late in the spring, race. Junior gets him back in the fall.
Yeah, I think we're going to see one person dominate most of the race in the first 2 stages, and I think that person doesn't win, though, because
I think it'll be the 45 that does exactly that.
I just think something will happen, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for it. I know it's not the most exciting race to the eye, but as a race, if you understand, racing and the driver ability, that's where it becomes, good. Or we can see a green white checkered and Alex Bowman steal it again.
You never know. We had a huge opportunity.
Oh, by the way, Alex Bowman is freaking the points leader.
Again.
Yep.
Again, yeah.
Hasn't finished outside the top 15.
No, yeah.
Bowman's really been showing it.
We could see that though this week, where it does come down to late race restarts or something. It gets wild, and the fastest cars don't win.
Yeah.
We saw multiple opportunities for that last week. I don't know how Reddick pulled it off. Fast.
No, I'm actually kind of happy Reddick won that.
I am too, and he deserved it. But we could see that to where this week it doesn't play out that way. Especially, you got to think the race starts at 3:30. Track's going to be slick, even if weather's not that great. If there's a little bit of sun, track's going to be slick.
Even if it's raining, they're still racing. So
that too, yes. That's another reason at all. Unless I assume they probably won't race, assuming there's thunder and lightning.
Yeah, and of course pouring rain.
Right. Yeah, just
pouring rain though.
And that's interesting too.
The fastest lane is going to be the high line if it's raining because you can put that.
Sure.
You can push the car, put the right rear on the wall, and just keep going.
Well, not only that, but you're not going to want to be in that rubber down there. That rubber's going to be extremely slick on the bottom, And if that is the case, thinking about it,
honestly, if that's
what do we see? We've never seen any of these guys turn. I mean, the only last person I can think of that turned a lap on a rain racetrack oval is Larson at Martinsville. So, I mean, he's got a little bit of experience with that, but I mean, none of these guys really know what that's going to feel like if we are in a situation like that. And I don't know who would be up front. I couldn't tell you.
I think Michael McDowell would be a big winner out of this deal if that's the case.
Yeah,
I could see that.
McDowell. I could see AJ type of situation.
Ty Dillon first top 10 of the season.
One small thing I do want to say is we did. Hendrick, we said earlier that they did get their points back. All of them were, except Bowman. I think he made his way back up to, if the points here are correct, made his way back up to 19th. He's now the points leader. Kyle Larson, William Byron's third. He was around 21st before, and Larson was, I think, still around like 28th or so. Now he's 9th in points. So getting those points back, I think, really helped. a lot of them. I think Bowman would have been okay. Byron had those 2 wins already. I think he would have still been locked in. But Larson, I think he got lucky getting those points back. He's not been great this year, and he was a bit of a points hole.
I agree.
I think Larson came on later in the season and been honest.
I agree with that. I think all three of them, no doubt, we're going to make playoffs, and all would be well with that. The only one that I really think it matters the most for is Alex Bowman, and that is because for the regular season championship, I don't think the other two are going to have a shot at it, so I don't think it's that big of a deal for them anyway. But for Bowman, I think it is a huge deal.
Well, Byron is third.
Yeah, after Cody,
only
Byron,
30 back.
Yeah, Byron cut down that lead a lot.
Well, how far back is he?
30.
30, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad then. Never mind that.
Yeah.
Larson's 56, so less than a race. The top.
That's not too bad either. I thought his was a little stretched out as well. So I mean, they're all three still in it. But so for all of them, then
yeah, but,
it puts them back in position.
So like he has to really start performing.
The top 10 are all within one race of being the points leader right now. It's pretty close right now.
Yeah, that's nuts.
16th is only 69 points back. Nice, but
nice. So of course Bristol Dirt will be next weekend after Richmond. We move into Martinsville.
Yeah.
Martinsville. Oh, these next couple tracks, these are crazy, dude.
What are our next 5?
Bristol, Martinsville, Dega, Dover, Kansas, Darlington, North Wilkesboro.
For the All-Star.
I can't wait to learn.
So I don't know. Personally, I think Chase comes back. Depending on, there's not been anything said.
You saw the script. He's coming back for Coke 600.
He's gonna win it.
Oh God.
Not happening.
NFL script is there. They leak Lions, Chiefs.
Which leg is it? Is left or right? You don't know?
Left.
Left.
I don't remember reading any of that, so that's why I have no idea.
It's one of the ones that hit the pedals.
They were talking about it with press conferences.
That's good. Thank you.
I got you.
The left leg. I'm trying to think. Ooh.
It was his third one.
Ooh. I wonder he's out, dude. That thing's hung.
All right. That's
my
team.
But yeah.
Left tibia. Yeah.
We got so many good, okay, this summer is not bad. Like, when it comes to racing. Like, beforehand, I remember that summer stretch where you can miss, 4 races and Tony Stewart is going to win. Every single... Remember that? That was awful.
2002 to 2017, Jimmy Johnson.
I'm 10.
We go for
Phoenix.
I'll start after the Coke 600. You go to Gateway, Sonoma, Nashville, Chicago, Atlanta again for the night race.
Nice, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Night races, man, I miss them. Richmond, this Richmond race used to be a night race. Martinsville's not a night race anymore.
I want a Dega night race so bad.
Spring race has never been night.
For Martinsville, yeah, it has.
No, for Richmond.
Yeah, it has. 2018, and years before that. It's always been,
honestly,
but recently.
Yeah. Honestly, it's always been a Saturday night race.
I missed it, bro.
Up until 2016, I think. Yeah, because that's when Edwards and Kyle Busch got.
What time of day did Junior get dumped, Mitch?
What?
What time of day did Junior get dumped?
After
Junior got dumped at night.
I don't think that was a question for you.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, well, I don't know though. I mean, we see rain and all kinds of other shit. So
maybe. Yeah, it's 70% chance of rain. I think.
I feel like Richmond always was a night race, except for back in the early '90s and '80s.
Yeah, can we just give it up for?
It's always been night, except for.
Oh wait, this ain't gonna show. Fuck.
Let's give it up for Fox. June 11th It's our last race this year. I can't wait.
Dude,
That's it.
I might throw like a party for the Super Bowl. I might get everybody just to watch it just to see, just so they like re-sign because they're gonna be like, damn, that viewership was amazing. We're gonna sign back for 10 more years. If they do that, bro, I'm gonna say some not so nice things.
No, Fox is definitely coming back.
I'm definitely not watching.
I don't think if we're never going to see a changer in broadcasting except for maybe like a secondary channel.
So, I do have a question.
I have an answer.
Like
What are
FS1 stuff.
What are we gonna see happen with Camaro?
It's still in production until 2024 for NASCAR.
What happens after that, though? What?
I mean,
I do. Sorry, go.
No.
Cadillac.
I want to hear your opinion first, actually.
I do like, or the fact I can't remember if it was one of you guys or somebody else bringing Cadillac.
That's what I'm saying.
You got the CT4 stuff like that. I mean, it's a GM powered, and I don't think it'd be a huge transition. It's just a body at that point.
Well, I think Chevy doesn't leave. That's for damn sure. Just because.
So, what car do they use?
I think they go to the
Malibu.
or the
I
Impala.
think Cadillac.
Just because the Impala still looks like a sports car to me, but like it looks badass. So
What does the new Impala look like?
look at that front end. Honestly, it looks better than Camaro right now. I'm not even trying to fight with you. It's pretty good looking.
That's all right.
I mean,
Why does it look long?
You know what, dude?
Have you seen the cars we race right now?
I like it, but I also don't like the way the back end of it looks.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But you know, NASCAR's back end is a freaking basketball court, anyways. It's big as shit.
My back again.
Our back ends would be a little different for the racing anyway, but
we've already driven an Impala before. So.
That's insane. Did you see that next gen Chevy Impala sedan concept design?
Next gen. What is it?
Just look up Google next gen Chevy Impala sedan concept design. That almost kind of looks like the next gen.
Holy shit.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's what it'll be. I'm telling you that right now. That's exactly what it'll be. It literally says 2025, which makes sense. That thing looks... Okay, I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. That looks so... It looks so futuristic.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's weird. You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess we see it happen eventually, but
That definitely is what it's gonna be.
But look at this thing. This thing is...
I saw it.
yeah.
I think it's pretty good. No, I think that's what it'll be, just personally. Because Chevy makes so much money off of NASCAR. I mean, they're the number one manufacturer in the sport. But I do think that we lose maybe 2 teams to another manufacturer. I think it would be a 4th manufacturer versus losing to Toyota or Ford.
I hope, but at the same time, I don't know. I kind of hope we see like almost like one or two Chevy teams go to a new manufacturer and see like a Ford team go to a new manufacturer.
Yeah, I think Stuart Haas is one of them. I think they leave Ford personally.
The thing is, yeah, I think they go back to Chevy.
I think Stewart leaves NASCAR soon.
I can see that.
It's a good possibility as well.
Yeah, I mean, if Stewart leaves, then you go down to 2 cars and Haas, and that kind of fills the Prius and the 14.
And that opens up 2 charters for Junior Motorsports.
Well, was Priest
Or Trackhouse.
was Priest Stewart's driver or Haas's driver? Because I know in the off season they were one of them liked Custer to stay in the 41, and one of them wanted the Priest.
Yeah, it was.
Stewart wanted Priest. No way. He didn't.
Yeah, Stewart wanted the Priest. He
That
wanted
makes
Priest. And then, of course, Haas, because Cole Custer's dad works for Haas. I'm sure wanted Cole in the 41. But
Yeah. Well, if he
Dylan,
didn't
I
suck,
have
he'd
to-
still be in it.
it's okay. We're running really behind. We're
Honestly.
almost 2 hours into the
2 charters for Junior Motorsports.
What?
Denny Hamlin working for Dirty Mo. Leaves JGR.
No, I think
Concept designs for next week's.
I think that is that's a very good thought.
What'd you say, Thomas?
I said concept designs for thoughts on next week's episode.
I don't know.
What?
See.
I'm out. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Yep.
Please.
Bye.
Adios.
That was.
I'm glad he was able to join.
Yeah, me too. Especially for picks. I just want people to join for picks. That's really mostly. I'm obviously talking about the race or whatever, but it's just cool.
Yeah, he ended up calling me mid podcast, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Where did you go? But
And he was like, "Oh, how'd the podcast go?" And I'm like, "We're live, bro." I'm like, "Hop on here." And he's like, "Oh, I'm driving and this and that." And I understand, you probably shouldn't be driving and on your phone and this and that. And I'm not going to advocate for that. But
Talking with a bunch of morons, I can't help.
he came, so I'm glad he did. I told him just hop in, don't worry about the camera. Let's just talk to us. So I'm glad he was able to show up. It's been a while since he's came.
Yeah, this was fun. Hopefully there's a new guest next week with us. Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully.
Just maybe.
I would like to see here in the near future when people rewatch it, because we get a lot of views, not live but after the fact. By the next podcast, I'm usually up over 100, which is good. So I just think, for some reason, I don't know why we don't get that many live. I mean, today we got 10, so which is not bad, but still.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, before we end this, I would like to try and get someone in the NASCAR industry on here soon, so we can kind of get them to post about it. Said they're joining, and then hopefully we can kind of get a feel for that. But we'll see. That's not like no one's even said yes. So, but that would be in the works for sure.
Any
maybe
famous
one day.
NASCAR people, feel free to join.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though,
Jimmy Johnson.
maybe soon here we might be popping in, bringing in a random special guest. It's cool that we had a special guest today. No one knew that was gonna happen, but that was cool.
From the
But
original
yeah,
panel,
maybe
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, we might have a random special guest though coming up. That'd be cool. Maybe we'll start talking to some people and hey, I mean, if y'all are listening right now, hit us up, man. Let us know.
Yeah.
So
It's fun to talk to NASCAR no matter how many people it is.
yeah, absolutely.
So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed what you were watching. Sorry, I just dropped my controller. My bad. Anyways, y'all have anything to say right before we send out?
No,
Come back next week.
Yeah, come back next week. Glad to be here. I think we had another fun and enjoyable time talking NASCAR.
We did for sure.
Yeah, like we always say, tell your grandmas. You know,
Absolutely, man. Get
I
your
love-
grandma in here,
I love the grand milfs.
bro. We'll keep it with the malls. Bring your grandma.
Keep it
Anyways,
frosty.
She'll
yeah,
like
keep
that.
it frosty, dude. And we're out. Keep it frosty.